This is a planning software that I use when we take on a PadSplit, and it's called Dream Plan Home Design. I don't know how much it costs. It's relatively cheap, I know, if it costs anything. But what I do is I go on the tax assessor's office and I find the exact measurements of the house. And then when I'm in my due diligence, I take measurements of every room. And then I come back here and I build it out. And I say, okay, here's how I'm finding the property. And when I found this property, there's a carport here, and then there was laundry in the back of the carport, and then you'd come into the house here or here. So there were kind of two front doors. And you would come in here and there'd be a small kitchen and a dining room. And then there was this weird room right here that was kind of a pass through that wasn't being used as a bedroom. It's just like a playroom or maybe a formal dining room. And then over here was the living room. And then back here were the two bedrooms. So we bought this house as a 2, 1.5. There was a full bath in the hallway here, and there was a half bath in the master bedroom. And so I go in here, and the reason I build it in here is to make sure I have dimensions. And I know that my dimensions are going to work. So Blake, can you help me out here? What is the minimum bedroom size that PadSplit requires?
80 square feet, and then no wall shorter than 7.5 feet.
Okay. So when building it in something like this, you can get those measurements down. Now, I'm not going to go through how I take the measurements in here. You can get this, but you can click on that measure tool and you can measure from, here to here and say, oh, that's 8 feet from there to there. But just know that you can do something like that in this program. So I build it out and say, well, we found it as a 2, 1.5. What is the first thing we're going to do? Like Blake said, we're going to take and what we did was we extended this bathroom over and we made it a full bath. So we pushed this wall over and put a shower in here and now made this an ensuite. That is one of the most effective things you can do because now you can charge more for that bedroom. And so that was the first thing we did.
More.
Say that again?
About 50% more.
Right. Yeah. 50% more. So if I was going to charge $150 for this bedroom, I can now charge possibly $225 for this bedroom now. So, and I will give you exact numbers on what we're renting this house out for with PadSplit. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize this space. We don't want our common spaces with couches and stuff. That invites unwanted guests to sleep over. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take and I'm going to make this living room a bedroom. So I put this little half wall here just to make this front door not accessible into this bedroom. So I put a temporary wall up here and then I added a bedroom there. And the next thing I did was I put a wall up in this hallway and I made this a bedroom as well. So I just took this 2, 1.5 into a 4-bedroom income stream. So this property right here, our bedrooms are rented out so this one right here is $160 a week. This room right here is $170. This room right here is $195 for this ensuite. And then this room right here is $155. You might be asking, well, what does that actually look like for earnings? And I will say this, in February, this property as a standard straight rental would only bring in about $1,200 a month, and that is gross. So what did it bring in as a PadSplit? In February, it brought in $2,900 gross. So, I mean, that is just real world example of the power of PadSplit. And when you can do this over and over, and I could have very well done my best to create something like this. I could have brought this over here and brought this wall even closer there and did another one. Let's see if I can. I don't remember how to do this, but I could have essentially done another bedroom right here and taken this front door and turned it into a non-entry door. And I could have made this a 5-bedroom. Now, the reason I didn't do that is we were kind of in a newer market and I didn't want to put in even more money into it, but I can still go over to this house and move that wall, right? I could still go over and move that wall and add another bedroom. Now, that is going to put a little strain on the house because it would mean that there would be 4 bedrooms to this 1 bathroom. And that is where I believe PadSplit recommends you cut off 4-1. So that is where I would maximize the potential of this property.
Yeah, 3-1, 4-1 is the most that you can have sharing one bath. But yeah, 3-1, 4-1. We don't see a big difference in tenure. But like if the room was a lot smaller, maybe you get a little bit less per week, but you have an extra room. So there's usually multiple avenues and multiple ways to split up a house, and you kind of weigh the pros and the cons of each.